season, and as last night's opening match of the 1993 Premiership season had a grand final feel about it.
Collingwood and Footscray know how to draw a crowd. James Raine and Daryl Braithwaite know how to entertain one. 60,000 turned up for the balmy evening game, not quite the 80,000 predicted.
A deafening roar splits the MCG to start the season.
A much smaller crowd turned up at Waverley Park for the Hawthorn Vs Melbourne game, but with 145 matches left in the season, supporters are only just warming up. The game was not without its controversy, with some commuters refusing to pay a $4 private bus fare from Glen Waverley to Waverley Park. Passengers weren't able to use their Met ticket, and the state government has withdrawn subsidies for the bus companies.
Way too expensive.
How can pensioners pay an extra $4?
But for most supporters, the game couldn't be missed, especially if this is the first year you've been allowed to show your true colours. Emma Rossi, 7 Nightly News.
All today's highlights coming up after the break.
Fitzroy recruit Michael Dunstan will never forget his first match in AFL ranks. He achieved every kid's dream. Scores were level with only minutes to the final siren when he marked in goal to give the Lions a thrilling 6-point win over Carlton. Matthew Brooks reports.
The Lions dominated play early. In particular, West Australian recruit Michael Dunstan stood out from the pack. Trailing by 20 points, the Blues needed to lift, the towering Earl Spalding sparking the resurgence.
Here's a chance for the Blues.
By quarter time, Fitzroy's lead had been reduced to just 8 points, and when Craig Bradley goaled, the Blues took the lead. Darren Wilden kept the game tight, but Kernahan's second goal ensured the edge stayed with the Blues.
Up in the square. Oh, was it touched? I don't think so. I think it's a goal. Yes.
The lead was extended to 19 points when Brent Heaver kicked his third, while Peter Satori attempted to bridge the gap, goaling twice in 2 minutes. But combining clever defence under pressure with strong marking up front, the Blues went into the third break 24 points clear. Desperate to turn the tide, Fitzroy coach Robert Shaw stacked his forward line. The gamble worked, producing 4 quick goals and levelling the scores.
Yes, another goal to the Blues.
With tensions mounting, Paul Roos gave the umpire an earful, following a controversial decision which resulted in a Carlton goal. But the Lions kept their cool, and in the dying minute, Michael Dunstan gave the Roys a thrilling 1-goal win.
In the lowest scoring match of the round, Hawthorn edged out Melbourne at Waverley Park. The Demons under new coach Neil Baum led at half-time, but a 7-goal third term by the Hawks set up their 23-point win. And at Cardinia Park, St Kilda and Geelong fought out another high-standard contest. Cats managed to keep their noses in front at every change, but in the final term saw their lead slip to only a behind before they rallied to win by 24 points. Peter Landy has the highlights.
With superstar Gary Ablett sidelined, the Cats were not off to a good start. But McGrath tried to even things up by putting Stewie Lowe out of action. Mark Arsieri fired the Saints up with 2 goals in the opening term, an effort matched superbly by Gary Hocking, who also bagged 2 for the quarter. Everett was doing well in the air for the Saints, but when Steele found the range from 50 metres, the Cats led by 4 points at the change. Things livened up in the second. Whitman and Buse were putting on their own show on the boundary, and when Devonport went down moments later, tempers were frayed. Buse, though, knuckled down. A long goal increased the Cats' lead late in the quarter, but up bobbed Robert Harvey to lead the Saints down by only 14 points at the break.
30 metres out, kicks a goal.
Nicky Winmar put in his claim for mark of the day, and when Russell Morris boomed one in for full points, St Kilda was making its charge. Robert Scott gave the Cats some breathing space when he snapped his third, and Geelong maintained its advantage. Quick goals to McAdam and Winmar early in the last brought the Saints to within a point, but Geelong had the answers. Minch marked strongly for his 5th, and when Forsman snapped truly, it was all over, the home side up by 4 goals. Peter Landy, 7 Nightly News.
At the MCG, neither North Melbourne nor Brisbane had any trouble finding the goals, which were shifted during the week. The Roos under new coach Dennis Pagan booted 24 goals, while the Bears managed 22 and going down by 23 points. Longmire kicked 8 for the winners, Merritt kicked 6 for the losers. And that wraps up all this afternoon's footy news. After the break, more sport.